Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. And today, from McFarlane Toys and their DC Multiverse line, we have Superman. So this very specific version of Superman is the one that's portrayed by actor Henry Cavill in the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. This figure was released back in 2021. I think it was to pretty much commemorate the release of the director's cut of Justice League on HBO Max. So this is a figure that I didn't know existed until just recently. So I believe this is a Walmart exclusive. I have no idea when it came out because I never saw it in the wild. The only Justice League Superman figure I remember seeing on shelves was the black costume resurrected version of the character. I came across this figure earlier in the week at one of my favorite collectible toy stores, and that is Wax Packs Records and Toys, located in beautiful Roselle, Illinois. If you happen to be in the Chicagoland area, check this place out. But back to this toy. I saw this action figure at the shop, and immediately when I saw it, I knew I had to have it because when they first announced the line of action figures, I was pretty excited about them until I saw the Aquaman. The Aquaman figure, the likeness to actor Jason Momoa is like terrible, and the figure, it looks not that it's a poor quality, but it's not at the same level as these other figures. Like I previously reviewed Cyborg and the Flash, and they're amazing. And the Superman, it looks cool, but in all honesty, I just wanted the plain blue, gold, and red Superman. I didn't necessarily want the black resurrected costume. For me, I think I was just using it as an excuse not to buy their entire wave of figures because, in all honesty, each figure is like $20 a pop, and I didn't feel like shelling out $100 at the time. But here we are, much later, and I bought this figure for slightly over retail, and I'm happy with it. I got to go back now and actually get the Batman and the Aquaman to complete the Justice League. I kind of dread getting the Aquaman. But maybe I could find a better head sculpt online, maybe through eBay. Alright, so let's take this guy out. So yeah, I'm kind of naive sometimes when it comes to action figure news. I don't keep up to date like I used to. Back in the day, I'd always go to the forums, the message boards, and then the fan websites and the toy websites to get all my news. But, over the last, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, I've kind of I just like to be surprised most of the time. So if I see it in the store, it's kind of cool for me to see something fresh and kind of anticipate it much earlier on. I do try to keep up to date with McFarlane's social media. So I always check out their Instagram first thing in the morning to get my toy updates and see what they're doing. But every now and then stuff goes below my radar, like this guy right here. So Superman comes with a trading card and also a flight stand. Now this figure, it looks great. The one thing I do like about it is that the likeness to actor Henry Cavill is pretty decent. With the DC Multiverse line of action figures, it's always been hit or miss with McFarlane and the likeness to the actors. For example, the recent Black Adam movie figure that features Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The likeness to the actor is really well done. It looks great. But then you get other figures there's the John Cena Peacemaker figure, the unmasked one, and the likeness to John Cena is terrible. It looks horrible. But this one here, it's decent. It looks like Henry Cavill, and I'm pretty stoked on that. I'm really excited to get a figure at this scale. The last time I bought a live-action movie Superman figure based off of Henry Cavill was probably years ago when Mattel had the DC line. And, they're producing their line of, Justice League figures. They had the premium ones, and they also had the budget figures. And so it's been years since I bought a Henry Cavill Superman. So I'm really excited to have this in my possession. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this figure, and for me this might be a first, with at least all the McFarlane figures that I have that wear capes. I believe this is the first figure in my McFarlane collection where the cape is completely neutral. And when I say neutral, the cape is flowing directly straight, up and down. It's not flowing in the wind whatsoever. And for me, that's really surprising because I think almost every figure that has a cape, in some form or the other, the cape's kind of like has the appearance like it's flowing in the wind. They always look like they're doing this. But this is the first cape where it's completely neutral and it's just hanging down. And I kind of like that. The reason why I like that is because, if you're displaying these figures on your shelf, if the cape's kind of flowing around, it'll occupy, a lot. It'll have a larger footprint. And if you're like me and you have a lot of figures to display, every inch counts. So for me, it's nice to have the cape that goes straight up and down. The sculpting, really well done. They do a beautiful job of recreating that texture on his uniform, as you can see right there. His emblem looks well done as well. The shade of blue is nice. It's not too bright. It's kind of muted and subdued, much like the color palette in Zack Snyder's superhero films. Yeah, so it looks pretty decent. I'm digging it right now. The likeness to actor Henry Cavill is really well done. They kind of have the cheeks and the jawline pretty spot on. I do think the likeness could use a little bit more work. It's not perfect, but compared to some of the other figures, it looks pretty good. It almost looks like Ben Affleck in certain angles. And I'm not sure if the hair color is dark enough. It's a little bit on the... it almost looks like a brownish gray, which kind of surprises me. But that just might be my figure and my lighting conditions, but that's what it's coming off as right now. You see, it looks a little bit brownish, a little bit gray. Yeah, it's a very standard looking figure. In terms of his height, Superman comes in at almost 7.5 inches. And it's decent. The cape is well done, simple folds. There's a very faint texture to the cape also. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but there is one there. The cape, it's not that thin of a material. It's a little bit thinner towards the middle, but as you get towards the shoulders and the bottom, it's a little bit thicker. So it has a little bit of weight to it, and it's not as bendable and flexible as some of the more recent capes we've gotten. In terms of his articulation, his head rotates left and right. Does he look down? Not so much. Does he look up? Actually, he does, which is nice. So if you want to get him like in a flying pose, you could do that. And there's like dust flying around. His arms rotate. He has the ball-socketed butterfly joint right there. His arms go out. There's a bicep cut. I think there's a bicep cut. It's just mine's just tight. It doesn't want to move. Right. Yeah, it's a little bit stiff. But there is a bicep cut. He has double pinned elbows right here. Mine are super tight. Man, these are tight joints. Articulated wrists. And the cuff does a good job of trying to hide the ball joint, which is nice. He has a cut beneath the breast line, so he could kind of swivel around. Doesn't really want to ab crunch, but I think he will at the... No, he doesn't. I was going to say he ab crunches at the waist, but he doesn't. Does he arch back? Yeah, he can arch back. Speaking of arching back, let's see if we get him in a flying pose, since his head can tilt backwards. Yeah, so you can get him in, you know, Superman's trademark flying poses, which is good. It always sucks when you get a figure that's supposed to fly, but then the head can't tilt back and you can't get him in a proper flying pose. One thing I dislike about the figure as I'm handling it is the exposed ball joint on the ankle right here. Very unsightly. More recent figures are better at covering it up. You know, keep in mind this figure came out I think last year, or yeah, 2021. Yeah, so it came out last year. It has the black pin through the toe, which is kind of annoying also. I don't understand why they just use the same color plastic to hide it. And his foot, yeah, okay, his toes articulated, ankles articulated. Does he kick up? Kicks up about there. Does he do the splits? Doesn't want to do the splits, so I'm not going to force it. Double pin knees. So yeah, very solid action figure. So I don't know. Now I'm contemplating on whether or not I should get the black costumed one since I have this. But it is really nice though. You know, you get this figure, you get the Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, and then you get the Ben Affleck Batman, and you have like the Holy Trinity of the DC universe, at least the Holy Trinity of the DC movie universe. The Batman figure that we got is the tactical armor one, and I'm really hoping that in due time they give us the standard Ben Affleck armor. You know, not necessarily the heavy impact armor one, but just the plain looking Batman. Let me grab that figure real quick. So I'm really hoping that McFarlane in due time gives us this, the Ben Affleck plain Batman, not the tactical armor one. This is the older Mattel figure from years ago, from their DC Universe, DC Classics, DC Multiverse line. You know, much smaller figure in scale compared to the McFarlane stuff. You know, here's the McFarlane movie Superman next to the Mattel movie Batman. As you can see, huge difference in height. But this is still a really nice figure. I think it's still kind of held up the test of time. It's not as well engineered as like the newer stuff, but I don't know. I have a deep fondness for this line of action figures. So I hope in due time that McFarlane cranks out one of these. All right, so how do I rate the Henry Cavill Justice League exclusive Superman? I don't know. I'm not disappointed. It's a figure I've been wanting. I don't know. For me, an easy 8.5 solid. I think, you know, it'd rate a little bit higher if the likeness was better. But compared to the other figures, you know, that McFarlane's produced, in terms of like the actor likenesses, I think this is decent. It's not the best. Like the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Black Adam figure looks amazing. It looks like The Rock. This looks like an echo of Henry Cavill, but it's not like spot on. You know, I don't think it's a better job of looking like Henry Cavill than their Witcher figures. Like some of the Witcher figures look terrible in terms of the actor likeness, but this one's kind of decent. And I'm not sure if Superman poses like this, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. So yeah, this is a cool figure. I dig it. If this is a figure that you've been on the hunt for, I'd suggest, you know, finding a decent price for it. I remember not too long ago when I first found out about this figure, I was checking out the prices on eBay, and I think some of the prices were kind of stupid. Like, I wasn't going to pay more than, you know, $30 for this thing. But if you can find it for a decent price, you know, go for it. I think it's well worth it, especially if you want like a solid collection of the movie figures. You know, the black costume is nice, but I really think the blue, red, and gold is the way to go. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.